It's such a joyous occasion. Real teams, real talk.
What's up? I'm your host, Carolyn, and welcome to Real Teens, Real Talk, where it's our goal to create a platform for young people to openly discuss key issues that affect them and the lives of their peers. Now, don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Real talk. What they doing, what they doing. Real teams, real teams, real talk. What they doing, what they doing. Real teams.
Welcome back to Real Teens, Real Talk. I am your host, Carolyn, and today it is my pleasure to introduce our guest for today. He is a celebrity actor, musician, and writer, Mr. Alonzo Valentine. So let's welcome him to the set. We're excited. And then we're also going to introduce our cast, Miss Oriana and Miss Holly. So thank you for joining us. Joining us today. It's really we're kind of starstruck because you are our first celebrity in the house. So we appreciate it. We appreciate it. Yeah. So we're going to let Holly kick us off with the first, because Holly comes ready. So we're going to let Holly kick us off with the first question.
I know you were recently on the show Stranded with $1 Million. And so I read that there were 10 people in the jungle in Fiji. And a tent cost $60,000. Wow, that's a lot of money. That's the first thing I thought when I read that. I was like, okay, wow, that's all right. And then I heard that a gallon of water costs $3,000.
Yes, a lot of things on the list was pricey. It was just about, whatever it took for you as an individual to get to 40 days, whatever you needed to make it to day 40 and to survive the full experience is what you was allowed to do. What you had to do, and you were supplied a list, and obviously in the list that there were items to purchase, but they were very, very expensive, and it came out of your $1 million.
Oh, geez.
So so I went to the store now, a gallon of milk is that same type of gallon.
Yes, exactly. Yes, real
and
product.
That's really $3,000.
Real product, real size. Nothing was over exaggerated. Anything you will see here is what I saw. Yes, good question. Yeah.
I know that a lot of elderly people will be back in my day it was 50 cents.
Right?
now it's $3. You'll be now it's $3,000. $3,000,
right?
Don't you wish you were back in your day?
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like that.
10 cents to $3 to $3,000.
Oh God,
that's quick.
In year 3,000, it cost $3,000.
Yeah, so you got tents, you got the water, machete. Yeah, machete was $10,000. A hatchet was around $8,000. A lot of tools that you needed to actually survive, to build shelter, to hunt. Wow. Those were necessary tools that cost a lot of money.
Wow.
So, what kind of animals did you have to hunt?
Well, the ones that I chose to hunt.
Okay.
I didn't have to hunt. Okay. There was a bear. I wasn't hunting no bear.
Right.
But I chose to hunt a lot of seafood. We're on the coast of the Pacific Ocean. So it's a lot of seafood involved. A lot of making spears and hunting, getting in that ocean and hunting fish. A lot of crab on the beach, on the sand. There's a lot of crab
there.
Crab
sounds nice.
You're going to cook
Any
that
butter?
crab, though. You're going to have to cook it.
No butter?
Nah, no butter.
No butter.
Unless you want butter, probably $20,000. Yeah, but yeah, you're going to cook the crab. Obviously, you want to cook anything you hunt. You don't want to eat no raw fish, right?
Yeah.
So the only way you could cook it is if you knew how to start a fire. And if you didn't know how to start a fire, then you were kind of on your own, or you had to get up with somebody who knew how. Everybody, brought something different to the table and a different skill, so that's when you decided who you wanted to hang out with.
Is it true, because I watched it on SpongeBob, don't laugh, but they took the two sticks and they hit it together and that started the fire? Is that a real thing? Or you have to do a lot of or rub it together? What do you have to do to actually start it?
You have to create a lot of friction. You have to isolate heat. It's a lot of science involved. And you have to know, it's a lot of force, and it's hard work. You got to get down there, and you got to take the sticks, and you do rub them together, but you also have to have tinder, something called tinder. It's just dry material. You could take a bunch of dry leaves and crush them up, or hay is a great example, and that's what really is the key essential to a fire. Because once you get that going and it starts smoking, you need to keep the fire going. It's just like an ash on a cigarette. When you drop the ash, you see it still smokes. The only thing to keep that going is ash. So that was the key. Is tinder, dry material.
Okay. Oriana, what would you give us a question you would like to ask Mr. Valentine?
Okay, it's pretty stupid, but
right off the bat.
Right.
But why was everything so much money? A gallon of milk for $3,000.
It was a lot of money in my opinion. I don't know, obviously, but in my opinion, I believe the items was a lot of money because no one's going to hand you $1 million. $1 million is a life-changing amount of money. And you would really need to know how much $1 million is to understand that you're going to work for it and you're going to earn it. And these are key elements to survive. And if you're out there on the island of Fiji and just for you to stay 40 days, I'm gonna just hand you $1 million. I'm gonna make you work for that, and I'm gonna make sure that whatever you buy, you really wanted to buy it. So if you feel like you need water, or if you feel like you need a tent because you don't feel like sleeping on the ground, then that tent is $30,000. Now, if you want to buy it, you can. It's your choice. That's how it goes.
Got you.
Okay.
Got you. What made you want to go on the show? Like, what inspired you to go there?
Sure. I just got it was obviously for the $1 million. That was the motivation. I wanted to change my life and to change the people around me. I wanted to change the lives of those around me. My mother, my sister, my core family, my immediate family. I really did it for them. That's why I went out there, to get this money to bring back home so I could change my life and everyone else's life.
All right. Oh, that was sweet. He thinking of it. See, you got to do things and think about other people while you're doing it. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. What, the show came out in February.
Yeah.
And how do you, like, has it affected you in any way? Like, has it affected you physically, mentally? Like, what is your thought on it?
It has affected my belief system. It affected my morals. And I said that in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that because I feel like America is the greatest country on earth after that. Like, obviously, obviously, there's a lot of things that we take for granted that we're not even conscious that we take for granted. Like, you woke up this morning, I'm sure you brushed your teeth and you looked in the mirror. I didn't get that privilege. So that being taken away from me overnight, and then not going to the bed but going to the ground. And then waking up and not eating breakfast, but not eating for the next 10 days, or not brushing your teeth and not washing your face, or seeing what you even look like. This is simple things, and it made me appreciate everything, and I take nothing for granted. So it affected me that way.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. Well, when we come back, we are going to discuss childhood and the different things, because we said that he is a reality TV show star, he's a musician, a writer, so we're going to dive into those topics when we come back. So don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Real teams, real talk. What they doing, what they doing. Real teams, real talk. What they doing, what they doing.
Welcome back to Real Teams, Real Talk. I am your host, Carolyn, and today we have our special guest, Mr. Alonzo Valentine. And we were talking about the reality TV show that he's on, Stranded with $1 Million. And the last thing he said is how it changed him, his morals. And so just repeat that part. It changed you, the way you think and the way you do things now.
Yeah, it affected my values, and it actually, I wouldn't say, it would have improved them. I guess it elevated them. It allowed me to see life at a different angle and a different perspective, and it just made me appreciate things and not take nothing for granted.
Take nothing for granted. Okay, so into music.
Yeah.
Music. I listened to your song.
Yes.
Forever. And it's stuck in my head right now.
Okay.
I listened to your song Forever. And where was because I saw the music video. Okay. So where was the music video produced at, taped at, shot?
Sure. We shot the video here in Buffalo, New York, the city of Buffalo. We did it in downtown just so we can capture the beautiful city of downtown Buffalo and the tall buildings, and just to give that vibe, like this is the lifestyle that we kind of want to live forever. Big lights, big dreams. That was kind of that was the idea of it.
Okay. So you are a songwriter.
Yes.
So you write your own music.
Correct. I write my own music.
All right. So what inspired you to write that song?
Oh, what inspired me to write that song specifically? Just something it's just a level that I want to maintain. It's just kind of like producing or voicing a standard. I was kind of like, I'm just trying to prolong a dream as long as possible. I want to be able to be in movies and pursue a musical career and live a lavish lifestyle. I want the finer things in life. I feel like they were brought here on earth for us to enjoy. And I would hate to go out on my life and miss out on all the finer things in life that God put here. He put them here, and I want to be able to live and enjoy them. So it was kind of like me saying, I want it forever. I want this forever. And no matter what, I don't care about the haters. I don't care what people think. I want this life forever.
Yeah, and the beat was catchy. That's the thing I feel with music, because sometimes I don't know what they do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's very catchy.
I appreciate it, and it's really trying to just carry on a legacy. I don't have any children, but I will one day. And I want my name to live on. So it's also a deeper meaning as far as a name and a meaning. And it was like, I want my name to live on forever as well. So when I'm gone, I'm still here in a way.
Right. I know that Oriana had a musical question.
So what do you think makes you and your music stand out from everyone else?
Good question. I would believe it's my beat production. I don't think any of my beats sound like anybody on the radio today. And I would like to say, like, how I how I use rapping and singing in my songs. Like I'm not a singer. I'm not so much of like a how do you say Justin Bieber or somebody that's really vocal. Like, I'm not as vocal as Usher or something like that. But I know how to harmonize, hold a note, and keep that going. And that's what I like to do: rap and sing my hooks.
That's good. I like that.
When did you know that so you're a rapper first, singer later?
Yeah.
Okay, when did you know that you were a rapper? Like, when did you see the gift?
Because English was my best subject. English was my best subject in school.
Yeah.
So I know how to put sentences together.
Okay.
And I know sentence structure, and I just know how to play on words. And I just like to say I have a vast vocabulary. So knowing that, and then my mother, she comes from hip hop. She used to do music, and that's really where I adopted it from. That's where I got it from. My mom, she was who I am now. Is who my mother was, and then it got cut short because I came. So I have to keep that going, and I got to get it for the both of us.
Gotcha. Okay, when you rap, because I hear different rap artists.
Yes.
When you rap, do you pronounce the full words of like the sentence, or is like half?
It all depends on what you're trying to make rhyme. I think music is very artistic. It's just like a painting. There's no right answer. You know, it does.
Because you know how Busta Rhymes, like it's really, really fast. Like, right. Like you're like, what did he just say? Like I don't know what he's talking about, but he goes, it's really, really fast. But like I guess Lil Wayne, you could hear what the words that he's trying to say.
I guess it all depends on your preference, what type of music you like. Busta Rhymes has millions of fans, and then there's a lot of people that don't like Busta Rhymes. You know what I'm saying? Like.
It depends on the audience.
It depends on the audience. Like that's his arena. You know how you reference Busta Rhymes for rapping fast. Mm-hmm. So it obviously works for him because when people think of fast rapping, who they think of Busta Rhymes or Twista, and that's because that's what works for them. So it all depends on your personal preference of music, I guess.
Okay. So tell us your music stage name, because after we talked about this, I'm sure they're gonna want to go and look at it and listen to it.
Zoe White.
Zoe White. Where did that come from?
Well, my name is Alonzo. Mm-hmm. So the Zoe came from Alonzo, and White came from purity. Just being pure, being clean. I'm not standing for anything garbage, anything trash. I like to wear all white a lot. And that's really what it comes
like Lisa Ray? Because she wears all white a lot.
I don't know about Lisa Ray.
Yeah.
Lisa Ray wears white?
Yeah, she wears white all the time.
Oh, well, I guess so then. I mean, I guess if she wears all white,
that's
then... But yeah, that's really where it comes from.
I have a question. Mm-hmm. So how do you feel about like your influence as like a person and as like, a celebrity and stuff in general?
I would like to say I have a positive influence on other people because my message is determination, not quitting. That's what I'm trying to get across, that you can really do whatever you want to do. Like whatever you want to get, you can get it. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. It's totally out here for the taking. And the top is not crowded. There's a lot of room up there. And the bottom is where it's crowded at. So you can get up there if you really want to.
That was deep.
Yeah.
The top is not crowded.
I think that's a good kind of message to put out there because honestly, I've heard a lot of today's pop music and stuff, and I feel like a lot. I know you're not a pop singer. I'm just saying in general. I've heard a lot of today's music, and I feel like a lot of times it's not like super deep or it doesn't really have like a good meaning. It's just about partying or different things like that. And I like that your meaning is more like deep and people really connect with it. So I think that's good.
I appreciate it. I try. That's the message. That's the goal. It's just to preach positivity, to inspire. That's to inspire.
One of my questions before we go to break is, what genre would you put yourself in, or are you gonna change eventually? Like go. Because like how, for instance, I know you're not her, but for instance, Nicki Minaj, she was pop. She's like, R&B. Yeah. Like she done been like hopped everywhere. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, you just kind of you just got to understand the goal, the purpose of that. Because
a lot of people are mad at her for that. So is that reasonable, or is like stay where you started? Or
I don't think that people should be mad at her because she don't. She makes music for the fans, but it's a business. You know what I'm saying? It's a business, and she has to feed her family. And unfortunately, in the music game, a lot of people download music illegally and get it for free. So,
that's true.
And so you have to go to where people will still buy your music. If that's your ticket and that's how you feed, you got to make money off of that. So you got to make pop music because people buy pop music. Rap music, we hear it on the radio and we download it for free, unfortunately. So you got to find your lane where you can profit.
When we come back, we're going to discuss his life as an Army brat, and we're going to talk a little bit more about music. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Real talk, but you gotta pay attention to them. Gotta pay attention to them. Real talk, but you gotta pay attention to them. Gotta pay attention.
Welcome back to Real Teens Real Talk. I'm your host, Carolyn Alston, and once again, we are here with Mr. Alonzo Valentine. So far, we've talked about the reality TV show that he's on and his music. And before we left, Miss Oriana said that she had a question for him regarding his music. So let's hear it.
Okay. I know everyone has like an influence that starts them off in their career, but what is an influence that keeps you going in the career?
Musical influences that keep me going in the career probably be my top three. Probably be Drake, being number one. Number two would probably be Big Sean, and I'm also a Wale fan. I like his lyrical content and the way he gives out his rap in a poetic form. So that would be probably my top three influences.
Okay, Wale. I like Wale. What about J. Cole? How do you feel about J. Cole?
J. Cole, he's very lyrical. I'm not a fan of his beat production. I'm not a fan of the instruments. I'm not a fan of the instruments. Like there's certain sounds that I look for, certain patterns. Like there's a lot of science that goes behind music that people don't understand. Like they just hear the song on the radio and they hear the finished product. That's just what they think we slapped on the table and they either like it or they don't. But they don't really understand all the passion and work and the science that actually got put behind creating this masterpiece. Like creating all these sounds and letting them sound on one accord. With verses and singing and letting you guys hear that.
Yeah. So hard work goes into all music. Yeah. Okay. Even like the song "I'm in Love with the Coco." Like you heard that song?
Yeah.
Okay. Like you know the beat, like because
they say the same thing over.
Well, because I feel like for some songs, I feel like they just go in the studio. Ooh, this sound really, really good. Okay, let's go. That's it. Like, that's the end of it. Okay. And then, like, they getting plays. I'm like, so can I go in there with the same thing? Because I got some words, okay? I don't got beats, but I have words.
I mean, as far as the subject matter of the song, as far as what they're talking about, I'm pretty sure that they pull from experiences. To go back to your reference, Coco by OT Genesis, he was speaking on him being in love with cocaine. The fact that he was in the streets and he used to sell cocaine and he was so in love with it that's how he made his money and that's how he fed his family. You know, that it was just so much deeper than how I would adapt to it because I don't sell and never have sold cocaine. So I wouldn't relate to it the way he would. Right. But it worked for him and only the universe and God knew that. So that's why he elevated because he was being honest. He's in love with the cocoa. He fed his family off of selling cocaine. Unfortunately, that's the unfortunate part about it. Yeah. But now he found success in music. You don't have to do that anymore. So now he can just talk about it. He could just tell people his story. Now, for the other people that sell cocaine, maybe they can be like, look up to him.
Well, because that's what it sounds like. Because, even when you look at the music video, because I only could look for so long, so I'm like, okay, I'm not about this life, so I'm not about to do this. Right.
You were honest.
I ain't about it, so turn this off. But it's kind of like, should they... Like, you don't really know the full story of it, so I didn't know that he was used to be about that life. I thought he was still a part of it. That's just how the song came off, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So it's like, they making money off of this song?
Yeah, a lot of times when you enter into the music industry, you do got to put your past life behind, because if you want to stay in the music game, there's nobody about to fool up with none of that foolishness. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of music executives that are involved, and no one's going to invest their money into you or your dreams. They feel like next week you're going to end up in jail. So... You gotta, because then that's a bill for them. Then they gotta start billing you out, paying lawyer fees. No one's gonna take on your headache. So you gotta choose. Kind of like the movie Notorious with Biggie. It was like it's either the streets or the studio. One question, and then he just had to make a choice.
Yeah. So I have a question. Who is your biggest role model?
My biggest role model would be Jesus and my mom. I would have to say Jesus and my mom, only because I like to model myself after Jesus the best way possible in my everyday life, model myself after him and walk the way he walked. And also my mom, because of her work ethic and her musical background, and I just try to adapt those same talents, skills, and ways of thinking. She has a very powerful way of thinking, like a yes, I am a winner. So I try to adapt that confidence in everything that I do.
I like that about you, because I know I'm being honest, because I think, as I said before with a lot of the music and stuff, I think that the people who make it, some of them aren't entirely honest about that, and they'd be talk about big people and stuff, but you're being extremely honest, and I respect that.
No doubt.
That is very good. So tell me a little bit about your childhood growing up. We know that we talked before we got here that you were on bases a lot.
Yeah. I come from a military family. My father, he was in the military for about 21, 22 years. My mother, she did about 8 years in the military, and I myself did 4 years in the military. Right out of high school. So the Army is something that I know far too well. That's all I know. I was born in Georgia, moved all over the world. I lived in South Carolina, lived in Missouri, lived in Kentucky. I lived in a lot of places. So it changed my life in a way. It was bittersweet. It's very bittersweet. It was a lot of instability, because as a military child, you don't have friends you grew up with. A lot of people here in Buffalo, they already have their cliques and their preformed friend groups. that they grow up for years, and they go to grammar school together, middle school, and then high school. I can't say I experienced that. I moved every 3 to 4 years. So I don't have a set group of friends that I can say I grew up with. I've met new people, so I know a lot of people, and they all live in different states. So it was kind of, it was a lot of instability, and it was like the kid always trying to figure out where to sit at lunch. Who I hang out with at recess.
See, that's kind of sad. That is kind of sad because it's like you didn't really have like a, quote unquote group. Right. Like I know you don't want to be like cliquey, but you didn't really have like a group. So were you sad when you left? Because I'm sure it was easy to make friends.
Oh yeah,
so,
it's easy part, right?
It's easy to make it, to keep them, right?
But it's harder to depart from the once you create a bond and you want it so bad to just remain friends, and you see other people having friends for a long time. You're like, you want that too, but unfortunately, it was beyond my control, and I have to go where the military took my family. So with that, but it was good because now I am able to talk to anybody. I'm adaptable, and I get along with a lot of people, and I can take on different languages, different walks of life. I don't have problems or beef with nobody because I get along with everybody. Right. It elevated my personal skills and my people skills, but it took away from my stability.
What made you come to Buffalo?
Well, at the time, my mom, she just got a promotion on her job, and she worked at the Veteran Affairs Hospital, and I was still in high school at the time, so we came up here as a family.
Okay, Buffalo. Do you like Buffalo, New York? Because it seems like everybody that's from Buffalo, well, most people except for me, try to leave. Like they did. I'm going to Atlanta. I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? Right. Wherever, anywhere but Buffalo.
It's all what you make it. I like what Buffalo teaches you. I mean, Buffalo teaches you how to grind. Buffalo teaches you how to get,
That's true, because a lot of people don't like to show love, so you're gonna have to force it. You gotta force it.
No, that's the key. That's a fact. That's a fact. Like. Buffalo, they don't. Unfortunately, and if you really want to get out of here, you gotta grind. You gotta get dirty. You gotta work, and that's what Buffalo teaches you. It installs a very tremendous work ethic.
Yes. All right. When we come back, we're gonna have to say goodbye to our friend Alonzo. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Real talk, but you gotta pay attention to him. Gotta pay talk, but you gotta pay attention to him. Gotta pay attention.
Welcome back to Real Teens Real Talk. I'm your host, Carolyn, and today it's been a pleasure having Mr. Alonzo Valentine on set with us. Do you have any closing remarks, any advice that you would like to give to the people?
Definitely. If you're trying to, chase a dream or accomplish a goal, whether it may not be a dream, but just a really huge goal, I would say there's 3 key elements that you just want to keep in mind when chasing. One thing is I would want to say is self-investment. No one's going to invest in you unless you invest in yourself. You have to be willing to put your own money up in order to get it done. Like I see a lot of people going around asking for investors, handouts, money, just any money, any type of way. Sponsors. But when they really haven't shown, they really haven't shown that they were willing to be broke and gamble their own money. So self-investment. The second thing I would say is sacrifice. It's what you're willing to give up in order to obtain what you really want. You have to be, and my personal sacrifice was loneliness, because I don't like to be alone. I like to have friends, because I'm that type to have a large group of friends. But unfortunately, my friends are not always on the same wavelength as me. Mm-hmm. So I have to be willing to sacrifice the separation and the loneliness and not hanging out with my friends anymore. So you got to be really even be lonely, because everybody's not going to get it the way you get it. And the third thing I would like to say is consistency. Do it every single day, because that's how long it's going to take. If you imagine however big your goal or however big your dream is, just imagine how long it truly would take in order to make that birth and make it come true. You really got to do it every single day. So don't ever give up, and consistency is key.
All right. Do you have any final remarks?
I actually have a question.
Sure. Okay. One more question.
Where do you see yourself in the future?
How far?
5 years time.
5 years. I see myself mainstreaming music and in a large movie role.
Yes, we're gonna be like, we know him. We know him.
I'll show you this video we did.
I have another question.
We need to copy this video.
Okay.
Are you using music to start your movie career?
Which one do you want more?
I want them both as equally. Whatever God has planned for me is planned. I'm not rejecting any of them. I worked them out for my good. You just have to don't put all your eggs in one basket and know how to, whatever. If one don't work, the other one will. But you have to have the other one.
Okay.
Got you. Okay.
I want to say that I think that was so robotic. Okay, anyway. I think that it was really cool how you were very real about all of your answers, and I would like to say that is for anyone who is interviewed and who wants to like do what you do to always be real, because I think that I admire that more than someone who does make it like super big right now, but is extremely fake. So I would just say that.
Sure.
We like your authenticity.
Yeah, we like real people.
Good stuff.
Yes. All right, so tell us where to find you. If somebody wants to look up your music.
Yeah, if you want to follow me
stalk
on anything.
Facebook.
It's
a real thing.
You can find me anywhere. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I keep it all the same. Keep it all simple. Find me, look at me. I am Zoe White, and that's at I am Zoe White. My YouTube is the same thing. And be sure to check out my newest single, Forever. And my name on YouTube is Zoe White.
And Ariana, tell us where to watch our sister show.
Don't forget to watch the sister show with DJ Star, Channel 20 on Spectrum at 10 p.m.
And don't forget to tune in to Real Teens, Real Talk on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Spectrum Channel 20.
Channel 20, yes. Okay, and don't forget what Mr. Alonzo said. 1, self-investment. Number 2 is sacrifice. And number 3 is consistency. All right, and don't forget to keep it 100. See you later.
What they doing? What they doing? Real teens, real talk. What they doing? What they doing? Real teens, real talk. But you gotta pay attention. Gotta pay attention to 'em.